Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eric Langkamp, also known as Tricky Hunter. I am here to give you a update on 031, the next update that's coming out. One of the biggest things that's in this one, actually one of the only things that's going to be in 031, will be the pilot update. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out some of the features as we have them right now. A few other things that need to be added I will go over once I've shown you the video. So let's double check here. Yep. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here. No one memorized all my asterisks as my password there. All right, so the last update you saw was this stable update, of course. So where you've got your own mechs, and right now there's only one mech available, and you can see I've tested a few of these. But now there's this button called Barracks, so we can go ahead and pull in or recruit a brand new pilot. And Jody Schuster here is the newest pilot. Let's go ahead and do another one. So let's see, Churchill, and sure, let's grab another one. So this one has a name generation system and statistics generation system. The name possibilities is something like 24 million different combinations of names. It also will assign all of the statistics that you would expect for an actual person. So like eye color, hair color, height. Apparently this is a really, really tall gray-haired man. Even has everything down to a blood type and everything. The goal, if we end up with the capital that we want here eventually, wow, that is an old female pilot. You wouldn't expect a brand new 41-year-old pilot. So the plan is to eventually have generated like pictures for each pilot, which would be really cool to have enough art or generation of art to be able to have pilot portraits. But you can see a couple of different features here. You can heal your pilot. They will incrementally heal. Every half hour they'll regain a single point of health. You can also train your pilots directly via an Imperial cost. There will be a CC cost when it comes to pilots as well. And I might just show you guys some of the statistics on some of that. But to assign a pilot, you select your mech on the stable screen, and then let's assign Jody. And then it doesn't auto update at this point, but if you page back, she'll end up being the pilot, or maybe it's a he, I can't remember. Jody is a female. Okay. Back to here. So you can actually see the minor statistics of the pilot right here, but if you want to go into details on Jody here, you can. You can also unassign from here as well, and I believe nope, you can't unassign here. You can only reassign on the base on the barracks on the stable screen. But if you wanted to unassign her, you select her and click unassign, and that'll pull her off of the mech. But let's go ahead and put some pilot training in, and right now all it does is show the cost that popped in, but you can also see that the pilot skill jumped, and that just in here you can see that it deducted some Imperial from me as well. So there's your real basics of the mech pilots. But I'll go ahead and jump back to me here. So the next thing's up, and those pilots will all transition into combat just as you'd expect. Let me pull up a sheet here to show you guys some of the basic statistics here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and shift this around a little bit so you guys can see. So what you're seeing here now is the level basis, and over here is the actual like dice roll modifier, and eventually what it'll display is actually a level number from 1 to 10, but the dice rolls will remain exactly the same. This will be for non-Battletech players, for them to really understand, going up in level. During Battletech and Averon, when you went up in level, you actually were seeing a number decrease, which doesn't make much sense unless you understand that it's dice rolls. So to negate all of that, we're going to hide the dice roll modifier on the statistics screen and have it be a level 1 through 10. You guys will understand that it's a +5 to a -4. And then what you can see here is the points that are needed to go from each level and the individual costs to jump from level to level. Also, what you're seeing here is what will eventually be the CC costs of just directly paying for an upgraded pilot. So there's a bit of a discount on pilot upgrades, and this is a cost per pilot skill and gunnery skill. It's not uniform across the board, so you have to pay for both gunnery and pilot skills independently. But it'll be 1 CC to jump up to your level 5, which is your 1 skill level for a pilot. And then to go to the next level for CCs, it's another 1, and then 2, and then 5. The last 2 levels, the -3 and -4, cannot be paid for. It's one of those things that has to be earned in combat. Also, rather than jumping directly to the points needed for achieving the level, if you pay for the training, you'll get a dump of the points the expected points required to jump to that level. So if you say acquired 10 points because you won a single battle, then what'll end up happening is you'll have 10 points, you'll pay your 50,000 Imperial, it will dump 25 points in, giving the pilot a total of 35 points, making it easier still to achieve the next level. But if you paid for CCs to jump to your level 1, your skill level 1, or level 5, depending on what criteria you're talking about here, then the player will get dumped 550 points in all at once. Now, of course, you still need another 600 points past that 550, so you need 1150 to be able to jump to level 6 or skill 0, and so on. Over here you can see the experience gains. Killing a mech is not actually implemented. I'm not even sure if it's necessary because of the level of damage that's required, and dealing the final blow on a mech really doesn't make much sense in the long run there. But skill check passes, that is a 2, so you can rack up pilot points pretty quickly. And then hitting a mech in a single round earns you a point. Winning a battle will earn you 10 points for both pilot and gunnery skill. And to complete a battle, even if you didn't win, if the pilot survives, he still gets 5 points of experience. And then, as you can see here, we're using 2,000 Imperial as a base number per point. So every battle you win, and you survive, obviously, is the equivalent of 30,000 Imperial worth of experience. That will add up very quickly. But the total to go from a day one rookie pilot to the top pilot is 19,150 Imperial. Sorry, 19,150 XP, which is quite a bit. So that's kind of the gist of where we're going with all of this. So as we move forward, there's a couple other features that we're putting in place. One of those, we've got 3 features to implement before 031 will be out. One is the limits of the barracks and stables. So you'll have a automatic 4 stable slots for free, and then 2 barrack slots per stable slot. And then you'll be able to go up to, I think what we considered was 16. You'll be able to pay for up to 16 stable slots. And you'll hang on to those even when you have an empire. So your arena mechs can be held at the arena in a paid-for stable, and you won't have to build a barracks or anything like that to be able to keep those active. But you can't use those in empire fights. Those are arena fighters until you transport them back to your empire once the empire is active. The next thing is login rewards. So there'll be a cumulative award given in Imperial every time you log in day after day. So it's kind of like the what's it called? I'm trying to think here. Not War Thunder. Is it War Thunder? I'm trying to think what the game is. Yeah, War Thunder. It's like the War Thunder rewards. So if you log in every day for 30 days, it will give you a bonus in Imperial, topping out at some level, and then as long as you continue to log in, it'll continue to give you that reward. And I think it's going to top out at something like 100,000 Imperial for login bonus in the arena. But we're not sure where that's going to all line up, because some of it might be a lot, because logging in 10 days in a row will essentially earn you a magpie, which is 800,000 Imperial. The last thing that needs to be put in, which is relatively minor, which is your access to your CCs. So the CCs need to be able to be redeemed for one. That's already essentially in place, just the codes haven't been entered. And we need to be able to convert the CCs and also use them for things in game, such as training or purchasing of items. Excuse me. It's getting a little late here. So once all of that is in place, the last things to do are not features, but actually just inputting data for being able to purchase and do anything and everything with mechs. There's tons of mechs to be put in. We have all of the Patreon mechs to put in, which I think we're up to 12 different mechs there. We have, of course, the Olympic mechs that we still have to put in place. And then we have a variety of mechs that will go on sale. I plan to have about a dozen mechs on sale, ranging from your mediums all the way up to your assault class mechs by the time we launch 032. But 031, I'm going to try and put more than just the Magpie in, because the Magpie is one we handed out for free to everybody. One of the last things that I'll touch on here is that we have some minor issues when it comes to copying and pasting in the Patreon codes. As it turns out, the game engine that we're using, which is Unity, when published to WebGL, which is the framework that's needed to be able to put this in a browser, it doesn't allow copy and paste from outside sources. It'll allow you to copy within the game. So if we had something you could select in the game, you could copy it to another place in the game. But what it won't do is allow you to copy something outside the game and paste it in. If we publish it onto Steam, however, that shouldn't be a problem based on what we've seen. So the plan is that once we make it to the 032 release, which should bring in all of the features that we're talking about here, we will confirm that it's good and then push that out to everyone, then get rid of the development build altogether. Then that will be the standard version, and then anyone who signs up for Patreon will then get a Steam code or a Steam key for downloading the game. Even though it won't be really seen in Steam publicly, you'll still be able to unlock the game and get access to it on your PC as a standard game format. And we're going to try and move towards the downloaded version of the game rather than the web version, because we're already up to 180 megabytes for the web version, and when we're done, it'll probably be at least 500 megs, which is an awful big download to have to deal with when it comes to a browser-based game. Whereas with Steam, we can have the upgraded textures and everything like that, and it could be a 1.5 to 2 gigabyte download, and it won't slow anything down. But those of you who have played the game have noticed that there's a gray screen that appears for a long time. The reason that is because it's re-downloading the 180 megabytes every time if you don't have it cached. So that's taking a lot of effort on your computer's part, and we kind of want to mitigate that. So we're going to shift to the Steam build. Now, if you have problems with that, or if there's a big pushback from there, we can always try to do things via the browser, but the browser is extremely limiting. And of course, for those of you who want to be able to play this on the road or anything like that and don't have a laptop, then those are the people that will want to push for the mobile build of this game sooner rather than later. And that's going to take a lot of effort on our part to be able to bring that about. So I'm going to let you guys go from here. I hope you guys like where this is going. Once this is out, we're going to be moving towards the Empire stuff, and there's a lot of features to put into place there, but fingers crossed that we're going to be able to make that happen very quickly. So you guys have a good night, and as always, you can catch me on Discord or Facebook.